Hello, I'm Hunter, and welcome to HEB Flicks Retro Review. This week I will be reviewing a classic disaster flick from the 1970s that celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. From 1974, Irwin Allen's The Towering Inferno. This blast from the past is about the world's tallest building catching fire and the attempt to rescue everybody from the top floor. If you've seen the film Skyscraper with The Rock in it, that film is loosely based on this one. Now this film stands out to me from all the others because of its iconic ensemble cast, its impressive visuals, and overall the soundtrack. Starting with the cast, this film is led by two of the biggest stars of Hollywood at the time, Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. You might recognize Newman as the voice of Doc Hudson from Disney Pixar's Cars, but even for the 1970s, this was pretty late in his career. Same with McQueen, who unfortunately passed away 6 years after this film was released. On the other hand, the supporting cast consists of William Holden, Faye Dunaway, Fred Astaire, who sadly doesn't do a dance routine in this movie, and O.J. Simpson before his infamous murder trial. The effects used to simulate the burning tower were pretty impressive for its time. A large-scale model of the fictional building was constructed and burned to achieve this effect. The sets the actors played on around were hotter than you-know-what at some times when they set off the flames, and they even blew up. I found some of these effects to be a bit cheesy, but it sets somewhat a realistic scenario for whatever they stored in this massive building, because half of these explosions were from either gas slides or flammable decor. I do love the shots of San Francisco at some points in the film, as it is set at night, but alongside that I do have a small fear of heights, and found myself gripping the edge of my seat at some points during the film. What I don't like about this movie is its excruciatingly long runtime, as it takes almost 40 minutes for this film to tower its inferno. But this runtime does give the audience a somewhat real-time perspective of how an event like this could play out so slowly, as later on, we have seen something like this happen in real life. But to close this review off, I'd like to give praise to this film's soundtrack. The Towering Inferno score was written by legendary film composer John Williams, who has written themes for Star Wars, E.T., Jurassic Park, and Jaws. This was one of his earlier movies that he worked on. The theme he composed for it has a heroic tone to it to fit its towering situation and its flaming hot cast. Sorry, not sorry. Overall, The Towering Inferno is a classic movie for those who love action and iconic stars, and is currently free to watch on YouTube if you want to go check it out later. I give it an 8 out of 10. But anyways, this concludes this week's retro movie review. Back to you. This is my video. Now this one stands out to me from all the others in this movie, and O.J. Simpson before his infamous murder trial. Oh my god. The effects used to simulate the burning tower were pretty impressive for its time. Here it comes. I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look. Yep, okay. But that's it. There were so many, okay? There were so many. It's like it's his own video. How long?